Welcome to our open book. The late Sidney J. Harris, a great. Oh, hi there, Marilyn. C. Mahoney, also Elise, Brian O'Shea, Marianne, Diana Lynch, Molly Katz, Maggie, Derek, Catherine Capel, Jeremy Sicking, Karen Smith, Dorothy J., Dick Peterson, Diana Lynch, Lynn Brown. Hi there, Marianne. Do you know the great John Williams wrote a theme for Gilligan's Island that they never used?
Are you going to sing it?
I can't. I mean, I don't remember it. I remember the original, but in any event, he wrote it, and the producer Sherwood Schwartz didn't like it, so that's when I got the other one. But it still ends up with the Professor and Marianne here on. Sorry, you've had that all your life, I'm sure. Anyway, so we've been moving some stuff around here, and I am a great believer in the fact if you pick up a book you haven't seen in a while, you will find something worth seeing. Amy Vanderbilt, book on etiquette.
Was this your mother's?
Yes, absolutely.
It was. Ooh.
Of course. And she thought it was important that I have it. And listen, I happened to open it to this section, and I see why it meant so much to my mother and why she thought it would be good for me to read it. It's on writing notes. And this is mostly still pertinent today. We might read a section later that I'll explain. But let me just read. This was apparently updated in 1978 by Letitia Baldridge, who had worked with Jacqueline Kennedy. Really, Marianne. So this section is the age to begin note writing. Children should learn from an early age that everything they receive as presents will be thanked for on their behalf by their parents, and that it will eventually become their responsibility to write their own thank you notes. Once a child has learned the rudiments of writing, a parent should help the child write a simple thank you message that the child can then copy in his own hand, such as, "Dear Jerry, your party was fun. I liked it. Thank you, Joey." The parent usually has to write the envelope when a child begins letter writing so that the post office will be able to read the address, but gradually, as the child develops, he should compose his own thank you notes, write them, and address them too. He should also learn to stamp and mail his letters so that the entire process is completed. He will not always have a grown-up around to do these things for him, so he might as well learn all these steps by the age. Guess what age?
8. It's going to be before you become a bar bat mitzvah because you have to sit down and write all those things.
Oh, this there a bar bat mitzvah? 9.
9.
Oh,
Okay,
there you
good.
go.
Here's a typically delightful letter I found in one of my children's saved piles written by an 8-year-old friend. Dear Claire, thank you for my game. We played it the other night, and it was great. Grate. I only hit Robbie once when he cheated. Cheeted. Thank you for coming to my party.
Well done.
Child should send a thank you note, or a young child's parent should write on his behalf to thank for presents, parties attended, and having been asked to spend the night. If the child forms this habit early, he will carry it through his life and will find that his good manners will always be one of his greatest assets. The thank you letter. One should approach such a letter as if it were made up of several interrelated parts. It's almost like having a checklist with the goal of making sure that everything on the checklist is taken care of in one's letter. In a thank you letter, the following elements should be present. 1, a statement to the people you are thanking. Is it one person, a couple, mother and daughter, an entire family? 2, who is doing the thanking? You alone, on behalf of your husband and yourself? Your children too? Only one person writes, but that person should thank on behalf of everyone involved. Mention something noteworthy about the event or gift. Great food, good music, pretty flowers on the table. Usefulness of the gift. It's nice to remark about the warm hospitality of the host or thoughtfulness of the giver. If you have spent time in someone's home, add a special word about how nice it was to meet some new member of the host family. 6, always end on an upbeat, pleasant key. That's a lot to fit into a note, isn't it?
You're a master.
Well, I kind of like the, "Dear Jerry, your party was fun. I liked it. Thank you." So, parenthetical, we had to write get well notes to Stewie Huster in, I think, the 6th grade when he was sick. So we all wrote get well notes to Stewie Huster. And Mr. Reisman, the principal, surveyed them before they were all sent in the envelope. And one kid whose name, what the hell, he won't care if I mention it now, Jackie Gerstein wrote, "Dear Stuart, I was sorry to hear that you're sick." I forget what he had. "I hope you are getting better because I'm told in many cases your illness can be fatal."
So that
Yeah.
guy's what, a comedian now? What do we think? Or
Last I heard, Jackie was running a scuba shop.
is that a euphemism?
Okay.
Scuba diving and stuff.
Okay.
Wouldn't think a Chicago kid wound up doing it, but he
Yeah, that's
apparently,
all right.
he apparently loved it. Yeah. Yes, Sarah Bryant said Jackie Gerstein joined. Oh, well. So, the following are some typical thank you letters, not letters worthy of saving by any means, but good bread and butter examples. For meal or a weekend. "Dear Margaret, we owe you an enormous thanks for last Sunday's lunch in Lake Forest." That says a lot. "It was the perfect antidote for the children ourselves, suffering as we were from city exhaustion." Whereas I would say I couldn't wait
To
get home to the city. "Neither you nor Horace can imagine what it meant for us to spend the day at your lovely home in that good, clean air." I would have a hard time with this. "We all voted your saddle of lamb the best we have ever tasted. And Kathleen, our 13-year-old resident expert in the decorative arts, was taken by your porcelain frog full of daffodils. She's been complaining ever since about our unimaginative table settings at home. We enjoyed the quick glimpse of your mother, by the way, who is in such good form she continues to inspire me with her energy. There is no question, but you two are masters of the art of making your guests feel at home. We are delightfully spoiled. So thanks to you both from all 4 of us."
That's very warm. Very
It is
nice.
warm. It is very. For a present, you should always write a thank you note for a present, regardless of the occasion. If someone shows up at your house for dinner bearing a bottle of wine, a brief note is sufficient. "Dear Mac, you were wonderful to come bearing gifts last night. We have decided we can wait no longer tonight to christen that excellent bottle of wine. Many, many thanks. We will toast you on the first sip and probably the last. Sincerely." If someone sends you a handmade present, you should be particularly thoughtful with your note. "Dear Pablo Picasso." "Dear Sue, not only could I never learn to be as creative as you, but I would never know even how to select the perfect wool color as you do. You are a marvel. You have knitted me the perfect shawl, and I shall wear it everywhere, whether it's to warm up a fireside dress or to lend a dash of bravado to my jeans and shirt. You are the best friend in the world, and I appreciate every knit one, purl two, or whatever you did to make this magnificent present."
How sweet.
It's very nice. When someone sends money, when a person sends you a gift of money, do not mention the sum in your thank you note. Just express your gratitude for your generous check or for being so wonderfully kind. Listen to this. "Dear Susie, thank you for the colorful macaroni necklace. It was delicious." Gary Smith. Refusing a gift. If you feel you should not accept a present, don't. Let your instinct be your guide. If a young girl receives a piece of jewelry from a man she hardly knows, if a young person is paid a large sum by a much older person for performing a simple service, if one feels there is a hint of bribery involved, send the check or gift back and say thank you anyway for being so thoughtful and kind. And be sure to make a carbon copy of your letter for your files. The retirement gift. Person should write a thoughtful letter to all those fellow employees or associates who contributed toward his joint retirement gift. After expressing his thanks, the retiree should wish them all continued luck and mention how much each of them has contributed to his enjoyment of his years at the firm. Printed thank you cards. Think they're any good?
Mm-hmm.
There are many classic and cute thank you cards that may be purchased in the marketplace today, and some people buy them, sign them, and mail them, thinking they have fulfilled their social duty after attending a dinner party, a wedding, or any kind of celebration. I feel, writes Amy Vanderbilt, these cards cannot compare in graciousness to a handwritten note. Gratitude cannot be advertised with a printed sign that spells out thank you. Gratitude is submitted through the written word or through the voice on the telephone.
Mm-hmm.
It's still better to write. It requires more effort, and it's a permanent record. The congratulatory letter. It is a gracious gesture to call someone to congratulate him on his good fortune, but it is even nicer to set pen to paper. The recipient can reread your letter and feel good each time. And that means rereading it years from now, too. Dear Carolyn, congratulations to our new Congresswoman from the great state of New York. We are positive that all of our troubles in our state are simply going to disappear now that you will be representing us in Washington. We sat up all night watching the returns and are so proud of what you have done in this campaign. The job demands the ability to cope, plus administrative talent and political and financial expertise. You have it all. Mike joins me in sending you our heartiest congratulations. When you are writing a congratulatory note to someone you do not know intimately, write in a more restrained manner. Dear Mrs. Hanson, although I am just one of the high school volunteers in your campaign headquarters, I had to write to tell you how glad we all are that you won the election. We are proud that you were the first woman elected from this district, and we know you will make a great United States representative. Good luck to you. Going to read a couple of trickier ones. Writing after hearing bad news. Sometimes the written word can bring more comfort than any other factor when misfortune befalls someone. Whether a person is in an accident, has a divorce, becomes ill, or loses a job, it is a mark of friendship and the best kind of support to write a letter. Even a brief note slipped under the door of a person who has been fired can help in many ways. Dear Alice, we have just heard about Howard's having been let go at the plant. It is bad news, but anything can be turned around into something good, and this will have to be one of those. He'll get a better job, be appreciated for the fine person he is, and have more opportunities. We'll be home all weekend. If you and Howard will share a meal with us, we'd be pleased. Jim has some ideas I know he wants to talk over with Howard about his future.
That is such a nice letter.
We are right here, two strong pairs of shoulders waiting to be used.
That's my favorite.
Yeah.
We love you both and are waiting for your call. Yeah.
That's a really wonderful letter.
Now, I'm just thinking aloud. What if, like, the two people living next to you were doctors and gets fired? Yes, Scott has many ideas about what you can do
Yeah,
for
that
your
gets
future.
weird.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
like,
Well, that's not really what this is about, though.
All right, look.
I'm just saying.
It's
Scott,
about
I hear you have ideas about my future.
it's about showing support
about
at a
showing
difficult time.
All right. Condolence letter. A good condolence letter accomplishes the following. 1, it proves to the bereaved that one understands what a terrible, crushing blow the death is. 2, praises in a personal way the person who has died. 3, it evinces a sincere desire to be of some help to the family. This is a time when carefully thought out letters are necessary because the letter will probably be read by several members of the family and close friends. It might be saved and passed down through the family. One should always refer to personal memories of the deceased if possible, showing how that person influenced the writer. I remember the first time I met her in college. I was a greenhorn freshman. She was a sophisticated sophomore. She checked into my room in the dorm that night and found me in combat with a bad case of homesickness. In 15 minutes, she chased the blues away. She gave me a tour, introduced me to 20 of her friends, and gave me an album as a welcome present. She has remained that way all through her life, helping people, chasing the blues away. Her death is crushing to me, too, and I will miss her for as long as I live on this earth. Always end your letter by saying, always be around to help when needed, and don't forget to make good on your promise. If you are not a close personal friend of the family of the person who has died, it is still a gracious gesture to write a condolence letter to a member of the family, even if you have never met that person. Dear Mr. Cargill, although I've never had the pleasure of meeting you, I wanted to express to you the great sadness felt by all the volunteers here at the hospital who worked under your late husband. Loss is our loss, too, for he was an extraordinary man who typified excellence, devotion to service, and human kindness. I speak for all of us when I say we stand ready to help in any possible way in the forthcoming months. Perhaps you would come visit us in the hospital someday. We would like to invite you to lunch. We would like to show you how we organize the volunteer service and tell each and every one of us how much he meant to us as a person. We will miss him very much. Then,
Oh, that's wonderful.
if you plan to use references to religious faith in your letters of condolence, it helps to understand the religion of the person you're writing. Each major religion, Protestant, Catholic, and Jewish faith, has its own way of viewing the afterlife. So one should be on firm ground before launching into religion as a means of consolation. It is correct to say to anyone, however, even to an agnostic, I will always remember him in my prayers, as that is a personal act of love. Discrepancies of religious belief do not really matter if the effort to console is a sincere one, such as this to a young Jewish widow. This letter, a young Jewish widow showed me that touched her greatly when her husband died. An 11-year-old girl, a Catholic girl, said it to her. The religion of the writer and the recipient differ as to belief in what happens at death, but their God is the same. The girl wrote, Dear Mrs. Wise, it's just terrible that God decided to take Rabbi Wise so young. It's really very mean of him. He must have known we wanted Rabbi Wise to stay longer. I don't know if you believe in purgatory and saints and all that stuff, but I do, and I just happen to know that with all our prayers, Rabbi Wise went through purgatory awfully fast, sort of like a car racer. Remember, this is an 11-year-old girl.
Yeah.
It's great.
So he's already in heaven with God and his saints. My favorite saint is Mother Seton. God will take care of Rabbi Wise. And you too, now that you're alone. I'll do your dishes or sit with the baby anytime. Tell Ralphie I have a new rattle for him anyway. Isn't that a wonderful
Yeah,
note?
that is.
God. Can I read just one more?
Mm-hmm.
The impulse note. This is the nicest kind of note to write or receive. It is unexpected. It does not have to be written. It is not connected with any special event, but arrives out of the blue. Since it's motivated by a pleasant thought, it always brings happiness with it. As is this note from one man to another. Dear Jerry, I couldn't resist writing to tell you that quite by accident I happened to see Rebecca playing this afternoon at the inter-school tennis tournament. Knowing you were at the office, I paused to cast a critical eye on her playing so that I could report to you. The report is A+. She is an excellent player, strong and fast, steady and accurate. She obviously can beat her old man to ribbons. You would have been very proud to see her win this afternoon. Or another example. One man writing another, Dear Joe, although we haven't seen each other for years, last night I thought of you when I came across an old photo taken during our Greek classic senior play. Certainly evoked a few memories, especially the sight of you with your hairy legs and white tunic, headband. Et al. In the role of Apollo, I was a similar sight as Mercury with my winged, maybe in those days it was winged feet, molting feathers all over the stage. No wonder we made college history that night. How are you? Anyway, and your family, let's have some news of you. And this, nice to write a cheery note to someone who's been ill. Dear Genevieve, I passed you on Main Street today and called from the taxi, but you didn't hear me. For someone's been in the hospital for so long and who has had such a hard time, you looked elegant, slim, rested, and just plain beautiful. The hospital must have agreed with you. But it's nice to see you around again. Stay well.
Yeah, that's lovely.
So I found all of these permanent. I didn't get to the one that I thought was a little not so permanent. But I'll share that here, and maybe we'll read it later. Yeah, impulse notes happened all too often on social media and for all the wrong reasons. You're absolutely right. And I'll never forget, forgive me if I've told this before, I was visiting my mother and going through email. You've heard this story 100 times. And
But conveniently, I forget it. Tell me
and I
again.
told her somebody at NPR had read in a call staff memo. And
6:39 p.m.
Oh,
what?
Excuse me.
What happened?
Nothing. That was my watch.
Oh, someone had suffered a death in the family. And I said, oh gosh, that sounds so sad. And my mother said, well, you must write them. And I said, I don't know them. And my mother said, I bet they know who you are. Never forgot that. Whenever those memos cross, I write whoever.
That's so nice. It's wonderful advice.
She was, So thanks very much for being with us in our open book. Very good to be with all of you. Take care. See you later. Bye-bye. Oh, promo tomorrow night.